They did. Van Pia Pibe Apu Unzup Ap Niu Boogie. How could they be wrong? It was very clear that in everyone's eyes, Wu Mu held the status of a master. Looking at their agreeing faces, I stared in sheer disbelief. My dear seniors. So you guys actually like that kind of design from Liao Yuan Muge? Brother Lin. Honestly, I also think God Yuan's design is better. Xiao Wang looked at me seriously. While they were talking, Wu Mu and Nan Huan walked in from outside. The top designers had their own independent offices. The environment was very nice, but if they wanted to head back to them, they had to pass through this public area. Seeing Liao Yuan Muge himself return, brother, he quickly said loudly, Xiao Wang, when did you get down here? Brother Mu is the idol of most people in our company. He Shu was a seasoned veteran. He handled things very tactfully and was well liked by everyone. He never made enemies with anyone. He said this specifically for Wu Mu to hear, just to curry favor. But unexpectedly, I shrugged. All I can say is, old Hess taste has completely detached from the majority of designers. Is that minimalism? Calling it a return to primitive times would be more accurate. My words carried a hint of sarcasm. This was the first time Wu Mu had ever heard someone in the company talk about his design like that, especially a newly arrived intern. He couldn't help but glare at me coldly. Where exactly do you see a problem with that design? Everyone heard the disdain in Wu Mu's tone. He Shu panicked. Xiao Lin panicked too. Everyone was panicking. He Shu truly didn't expect me to suddenly say something like that. If he had known, he wouldn't have said that even if you beat him to death. He originally just wanted to suck up. For things to turn out like this was incredibly awkward. It looked like he was intentionally trying to start a fight. Wu Mu was actually a very skilled designer. His family background was also very good. His father and Shen Yuxi's father were considered friends. Right after graduating, he came straight to Shenxing. Even an idiot could see he had feelings for President Shen. Furthermore, rumor had it that because of this, President Shen had a massive argument with her family. Later, for some unknown reason, she still compromised. As a result, Wu Mu smoothly started working there the next day. But aside from work, the two of them rarely even spoke to each other, even though it didn't seem like President Shen had any interest in him. Everyone knew Wu Mu wasn't a simple guy, someone that even President Shen couldn't do anything about. Who would dare mess with him? Zhao Lin chimed in. Designer Wu, I actually happen to have a design draft right now. I was hoping you could take a look at it for me. Should I go grab it for you right now? Wu Mu had never once respected the junior designers in this public area. Not only did he ignore Zhao Lin's words, he didn't even bother to spare him a glance. His sharp eyebrows twitched slightly. His phoenix eyes stared daggers at me. Well, Lin Yuan shrugged. Have you seen that draft? Wu Mu's tone was flat. I've seen it. Whenever design was brought up, I instantly became energized, serious, and meticulous. I looked at Wu Mu with a stern expression. Using an arched doorway for the kitchen design completely ignores the user experience. That's point number one. Point number two. For a small apartment bathroom, the ideal setup is separating the wet and dry zones. But to save space, he didn't separate them. Not only that, he even added a wooden tub. Visually, it elevates the space. But it leads to a major problem. A large area staying damp for long periods will breed bacteria and easily rot the wood. Wu Mu frowned. The expression on his face turned a bit ugly. He had an impression of this guy. His name was Lin Yuan. He had merely drawn up a draft for an apartment complex and gotten a few compliments from Shen Yuxi, but looking at his attitude now, he seemed to completely look down on his design. The forest is big, so it has all kinds of birds. There really are all kinds of people in this world, daring to question his work. How ridiculous. If design isn't for aesthetics, then what is it for? What bacteria problem? What material problem? It was entirely Lin Yuan's brain that had a problem. I can't agree with that. I figured I could easily point out 3 or 5 more flaws. I had so much I wanted to say. My mouth couldn't help but fire off like an extended Gatling gun. Yurto guys were prebuni parpart. People these days are so fierce. Can't he see Wu Mu's murderous glare? And he still dares to keep talking. Seeing that I seem to have more to say. 194 Ja Ipiaja. End up burn Quion. I'm telling you, Xiaolin. I remember, you still have an unfinished drawing.
You'd better hurry up and get it done.
Xiaolin chimed in. Exactly. Brother Mu is a god-tier designer. He thinks way further ahead than we do. I looked at this design, and it's exceptionally good. You could even call it a textbook example. You should just focus on your own drawings. Getting officially hired soon is what actually matters. If you keep talking, you're really gonna get yourself killed. Wu Mu looked at me coldly. You're a fan of Lu Manmen Qi Shuyuan, aren't you? With such a toxic mouth. You're exactly like your idol. Just now, Nan Huan was still talking about that Lu Manman. The house they designed is only fit for monkeys. I'm a famous designer, after all. To dare say something like that is just going too far. Not necessarily. That work of his actually does have a few minor issues. A lot of parts feel like they were done half-heartedly. To be completely honest, when I submitted that drawing, I actually just sketched it out casually. I never revised it. Nor did I look deeper into it. Looking back at it now, that drawing really does have a few minor issues. But compared to Liao Yuanmuge's work, those don't even count as problems. He was just that confident in his own drawing. Wu Mu initially thought that he was a fan of Lu Manman Qi Shu Yuan, so he could somewhat understand why he had such a huge problem with him. But hearing this answer, he couldn't help but let out a cold sneer. A lowly intern daring to criticize two major designers. What an arrogant, conceited fool. He revealed a look of utter disdain. He turned and walked toward his office. I stood there, dumbfounded. I just felt like this designer Wu seemed a bit off somehow. I turned to look at Xia Shu and Jiao Lin, who were full of anxiety. I couldn't help but ask out of curiosity. What's wrong with you two? Wasn't it just a design discussion with a big shot designer? Look at how terrified you guys are. Shaolin wiped the sweat from his neck.
You really are my good bro.
Do you even know who Wu Mu is? I froze. It was just a design discussion. What does it matter who he is? Colleagues having a normal discussion about someone else's work, sharing their perspectives with each other. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Shu sighed, that helpless expression on his face.
Looked exactly like that forced fake smile meme.
Wu Mu is Liao Yuan Mu gay. Who? My pupils dilated in shock. I immediately stared at Wu Mu's retreating back, stunned. I was completely stunned. Now he finally understood
Why the whole office was so obsessed with Liao Yuan Mu gay.
What kind of shitty colleagues are these? You should have told me earlier. Damn it, or ain't you just setting me up? I was just complaining. I didn't think you'd blurt it out so fast. Complaining is one thing, but to be completely honest, even if I had known he was Brother Mu beforehand, at most I would be just sugar-coated my words to praise him. That's just impossible. Meanwhile, Shen Yuxi sat behind his massive desk. Warm sunlight streamed through the huge floor-to-ceiling windows. He rested his chin on one hand, his eyes falling on the computer screen in front of him. Shen Yuxi was also a design student. Combined with the fact that he chose this path, well, it was born out of passion, after all. So he often looked at complex design drafts. Whenever he saw a design he liked, he would slap the table in praise, completely in awe of it. As for the trashy ones, he'd scroll past them in a flash, not even willing to give them a second glance. Just now, as soon as he opened the website, he immediately saw Lu Manman Qi Shu Yuan's work being turned into a massive spectacle by Liao Yuan Mu Ge. The fans on both sides were locked in a fierce back-and-forth argument. You have to understand, a post with hundreds of thousands of clicks. The moment Shen Yuxi saw it, he felt sick to his stomach. An indescribable layer of disgust and helplessness clouded his eyes. His intuition told him that damn Wu Mu was acting up again. This guy Wu Mu walked around all day with a self-righteous, holier-than-thou look on his face. The main reason Shen Yuxi had no fondness for him was his personality. He was too obsessed with his own style and incredibly full of himself. Just saying a single sentence to him could easily make you feel extremely uncomfortable. If his dad hadn't said that as long as he kept Wu Mu around, had agreed to invest 30 million into his company, he wouldn't have kept this kind of person in the company even if you beat him to death. The thing he hated most about this guy was that he always loved to secretly check his account's browsing history. As long as he liked a post, Wu Mu would inevitably go to that person's account and start barking in the comments. Like a rabid dog, it made people grit their teeth in pure hatred. And this drawing of mine happened to be the one he had liked 2 days ago. Speaking of which, Shen Yuxi really admired this designer named Lu Manman Qi Shu Yuan. From the moment he saw his first design draft, he felt that this person was a rare genius. He even secretly posed as the company's HR and sent him recruitment info twice. It's just that he never responded at all. He just assumed that big shot designers were usually arrogant. Only listed companies could catch their eye. It was normal for him to look down on Shen Xing. In the past, whenever this kind of thing happened, those designers would just ignore Wu Mu, choosing to turn a blind eye. So every time, it would eventually blow over peacefully. But this time was different. This Lu Manman Qi Shu Yuan fought back directly. Shen Yuxi just felt puzzled. As expected of the designer he liked, not only was his work good, but his standards were high too. To describe it in 4 words, kindred spirits. This kind of rabid dog needed to be dealt with harshly. He decisively commented below, I gotta say, Brother Mu is trash. Kitchen magic is truly a fatal blow. After saying that, he still didn't feel satisfied. So he sent a private message to Lu Manman Qi Shu Yuan. This kind of rabid dog needs to be taught a serious lesson. Absolutely do not hold back. I suggest you take out a high-interest loan if you have to, just to crush him. Shen Yuxi had thought it through. Since Lu Manman Qi Shu Yuan already couldn't stand Wu Mu, and his fans were acting so overbearing, why not hire a bunch of internet trolls to muddy the waters and teach Wu Mu a lesson? He had to make him understand that, other than his parents and his own dad, no one else in this world was going to coddle him. Whichever designer he liked, Wu Mu would go and step on them. Did he really think he was some kind of god? Give him an inch, and he takes a mile. He just keeps pushing his luck. Actually, he had been harboring this thought for a while now. The last few times the designers he liked got flamed, he had thought of using this method. It was just a pity that those designers, for some unknown reason, all chose to ignore it. This made Shen Yuxi very angry, but this time was different. This time, Lu Manmanchi, Ji Yuan had firmly fought back, so she felt there was hope. Her mood even improved significantly. At this moment, I was scrolling through the post, feeling annoyed, when I suddenly saw this message. Melancholy, this kind of rabid dog needs to be taught a serious lesson. Absolutely do not hold back. I suggest you take out a high-interest loan if you have to, just to crush him. My eyebrows twitched. This person seemed to be the exact same one who, a while ago, kept telling me to join Shenxing, an HR rep. So I didn't reply, and just quietly went to apply for the job. I didn't expect him to send me a message today. Moreover, Lin Yuan, even through the screen, could smell a thick murderous intent, as if there was some deep-seated blood feud. Normally, I probably would have just glanced at it, and still not replied, but I was feeling pissed off anyway. Suddenly seeing this sentence, I burst out laughing on the spot. It was clearly my business. So why did it seem like he was even angrier than I was, suggesting I take out a loan just to crush him? If he wasn't a sworn enemy, then what was he? I was so speechless. I asked, bro, do you have a grudge against him or something? Shen Yuxi firmly replied, yes, looking at the message sent over. I froze. I didn't expect this person to be so blunt. No beating around the bush at all.
Lu Manmanchi.
Zhu Yuan. What do you mean by that?
Melancholy has a stalker of mine. Every time he sees me like a picture, he rushes in to flame you. You're not the first person this has happened to. It makes me afraid to like anything anymore. I feel like I'm ruining those designers. Melancholy, causing the works I like to get trashed. It's truly infuriating, but also makes me feel so helpless. Because of this, I'm melancholy every single day. To win some sympathy, Shen Yuxi deliberately made herself sound very pitiful. Her username, Melancholy, wasn't actually because of Wu Mu, but more about her general state of life. Saying all this was nothing more than wanting me to strike hard and teach Wu Mu a lesson. This was his bad habit. Actually, Shen Yuxi had warned Wu Mu many times already, but the more she warned him, the harder he flamed people, just to prove he was better than everyone else, that he was the true genius designer. He was exactly like a rock in a latrine, smelly and stubborn. This time, she finally had a chance to use someone else's hands to cure his bad habit. She absolutely wasn't going to give up. Melancholy, bullying me is one thing, but flaming other designers for no reason, that's just completely unreasonable. Looking at the message Melancholy sent, I suddenly felt so incredibly wronged. If he genuinely didn't acknowledge my skills, I could accept that. But flaming me just because of a like, isn't that completely absurd? And posting a trashy drawing just to disgust people. Treating me like cannon fodder. I worked hard on this piece, and just for some dark, selfish motive of his own, he trashes it recklessly. Where's the respect? Lu Manmanchi Shuiyon. Thanks for telling me the truth, miss. I turned off the notifications and glanced toward Wu Mu's office. You really can know a person's face but not their heart. Turns out our star designer is a creep who bullies girls. Just wait. I'll draw a piece that'll teach him a real lesson. My ideas all come from before I transmigrated. Plus, I already had a natural talent for design. That's the very reason I can sweep the floor with anyone. Meanwhile, looking at the message, Lin Yuan replied with, a bright smile bloomed on Shen Yuxi's face. A smile full of hidden meaning. Just based on what Lu Manmanchi Shuiyon could do, she knew there was going to be a good show to watch this time. Combined with what she had just said, she wouldn't say it was a 90% guarantee, but it was pretty much set in stone. Thinking this, Shen Yuxi picked up the phone on her desk and called Si Qingqing outside. The instructions were extremely simple. Less than 2 seconds later, Si Qingqing pushed open the CEO's office door and walked in. Standing before the desk, she bowed slightly. President Shen, you were looking for me. Find a group of internet trolls in Kunan, under the post of someone named Lu Manmanchi Shuiyon. Flame him hard for me. Brother Mu? Shen Yuxi looked into Si Qingqing's beautiful eyes, smiling brightly. Si Qingqing's intuition told her that President Shen had finally waited for this moment. Misunderstanding, she subconsciously asked, President Shen, are you trying to teach designer Wu Mu a lesson? Outsiders didn't know, but as her assistant, Si Qingqing knew he was the epitome of lacking self-awareness. Not only did President Shen hate him, even she found him highly repulsive. He was just relying on his dad, and a bit of past connection with President Shen's father. That was the only reason President Shen reluctantly hadn't fired him. Who did he really think he was? Shen Yuxi nodded, her tone carrying a hint of ruthlessness. The number of trolls must be 5 times his fan count. Give him a lesson hell never forget. This time, she was going to end this once and for all. She had never been an innocent little white rabbit. If she was truly provoked, then no one was going to have a peaceful life. For the entire afternoon, I was busy drawing. It wasn't until people started leaving one by one that I realized it was time to get off work. I stood up and stretched. My phone suddenly buzzed. I clicked to check. It was an address sent by Shen Yuxi, along with a transfer of 10,000 yuan. I narrowed my eyes. feeling a bit suspicious. Why would she randomly give me money out of nowhere? While I was wondering, I received a cold message from Shen Yuxi. This money is what your mom gave me to acknowledge me as her daughter-in-law. I've given you the address. Hurry up. I knew there was no such thing as a free lunch, but I really didn't expect. It seems she really likes Shen Yuxi. If she finds out I lied to her, she'd probably be heartbroken, right? I didn't dare think about it any further. My phone rang. I pursed my lips and left the company, riding my little scooter, heading toward home. I got home just past 6. In winter, it gets dark early. Today, I still had to hurry and bring my clothes over to Shen Yuki's place. I was just calculating what to send and what to keep, but as soon as I opened the door, I was startled by the sight inside. In the living room, which was over 20 square meters, sat 2 massive bags. They were packed in black plastic bags, looking exactly like a pile of unwanted trash. My parents were sitting on the sofa watching TV. On the TV was the drama Feathers Fly to the Sky. The noisy family drama had completely absorbed their attention. They heard me come back but didn't say a word. I looked at my mom in surprise. Why is there trash sitting in the middle of the living room? Saying that, I was about to go over and throw the 2 bags of trash out. Su Quifan seemed completely baffled by his question. She leaned over and glared at him. What do you mean trash? Those are your clothes. Didn't you want to move out and live with Zhaoji? So I helped you pack your things. And now I'm the one in the wrong. I did indeed say that. I just didn't expect the day of reckoning to come so quickly. It's only been 2 days. Where would I even find the time to look for a place? Looking into the black plastic bag, I saw the edge of my pajamas sticking out. I quietly let go. Mom's packing was way too half-assed. Having someone pack for you is good enough. Once you move over,
You need to be careful.
you have to be quick on your feet and help out. Girls are meant to be pampered. What kind of mindset is this? Are us guys not meant to be pampered? I pursed my lips.
Right.
You're absolutely right, Mom.
Saying that, I pulled my phone out of my pocket. I sent a WeChat message to Hausi. It seemed the only way now was to crash at Hausi's place for a while. Hausi was a true blue Northwesterner. After graduating, he chose to stay in Hushi. Right now, he was a gaming streamer. He made about 7 or 8,000 a month. After typing out the message, I hit send, bro. I'm in trouble. Let me crash at your place for a couple of days. Less than 3 seconds later, I got a reply from Hausi. No problem. I'm streaming tonight, so don't bother me. The key is outside the door. Just let yourself in. Whether he was living well or not aside, whenever I needed help, he always agreed immediately. I shoved my phone back into my pocket and looked toward the dining table. It was completely empty. There was nothing to eat at all. Mom, didn't you cook dinner? Cook what dinner? Go eat with Xiaoxi. You two are living together now, aren't you? You have to eat your meals together. If you eat by yourself now, what is she supposed to do? Su Quifan was a woman of experience. Women understand women. That saying wasn't wrong at all. Back then, when she and Lin Yuan's dad first got married, he kept complaining about her cooking, which pissed her off to no end. Now, she didn't want her daughter-in-law to suffer the same grievance. They absolutely had to eat together. I let out a heavy sigh. She couldn't go 3 sentences without mentioning Shen Yuxi. Is she trying to find a wife for me or what? Seriously? Are you moving out or just finding yourself a new princess to serve? If you like her that much,
Why don't you two just swap places?
she can be our daughter, and you can go be the CEO. I shrugged, helplessly picking up my luggage from the floor. I'm leaving then? What? You want to stay for the new year? My mom looked completely impatient. Looking at her face, I could see the illusion of someone about to be set free. Stepping out the door, I stuffed my 2 large luggage bags into black plastic bags and loaded them onto my e-bike. Then, I opened the map app and entered the address Shen Yuxi gave me. Perfect. All my clothes are right here. She's always asking for clothes all day. Well, now all my clothes are here. I'll let her pick to her heart's content. When the map loaded, Lin Yuan couldn't help but be surprised. The houses there are insane. Even with money, you might not be able to live there, let alone buy a place. They don't rent to ordinary people at all. The vast majority of people living there are celebrities. The crazy part is, they all rent their homes. They absolutely do not sell them. In short, anyone who can live there is definitely not an ordinary person. I can't believe she lives there. The ride took over 30 minutes. Halfway there, my luggage accidentally fell on the ground. One of the plastic bags even tore. Looking at the words Minsheng at the residential complex gate, I sighed. I finally arrived. And just as I was about to take 2 steps inside, I was stopped by 2 security guards. Their attitude was quite polite, though. They came up and greeted me properly, just as I was marveling at how different high-end complexes are. I heard the shorter guard say, "Sorry, our complex doesn't buy scrap. You'll have to go somewhere else." I was speechless.
You've gotta be kidding me.
Bro, with which eye do you see me collecting scrap? These are all my clothes, not scrap. I argued. The guard peeked into my bag and continued, "Sorry, we don't buy old clothes here either. The people living here are all wealthy elites." The guards could basically remember all their faces. Plus, with this little e-bike and the two huge bags of old clothes on it. The guard's first reaction was that I was a junk collector. He probably thought that since the clothes in this area are quite expensive, they could be sold for a good price, which is why I came all the way here to collect them. Bro, go collect clothes somewhere else. After saying that, the guard patted Ling Yuan on the shoulder. It wasn't hard to see the pity in his eyes. Such a handsome young man. Why is he doing this kind of work? Even just doing casual live streams. Being an influencer is better than this job, right? He probably has a screw loose in his head. I was so confused. What the hell is up with this serious dude? Just as I was about to explain myself, a brand new black phantom
interrupted our conversation.
This car was appearing in the complex for the first time, even though the two guards had never seen this car before. One glance was enough for them to step aside. After all, the residents here were not people you wanted to mess with. The car window rolled down from the inside. Shen Yuxi's breathtakingly beautiful face appeared inside the car. She looked at me with an expressionless face. Get in. I'll take you home. After saying that, she looked at the two guards and added, he is my husband.
If you found this video beautiful and likable, hit the like button and subscribe